Welcome back to Una Faccia, Una Razza. I'm Chris. That's
I'm
Nick.
Nick.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I wanted to share with you a recent texting conversation I had with a friend to kick things off here. So I got this out tomorrow, the album dropping a day early, and I sent the link to this friend and I said, "Holy shit." And then the friend responded saying, "Dude, I almost died." And then I was like, "I was thinking it seemed like an album preview. And then when I sent it to you, I saw the out tomorrow title. Another pod topic, baby." And then the friend sent me a picture of their car looking a little worse for wear. And then they said, "No, I'm serious." As in, they're serious that they almost died. And then they apologized. They said, "Ugh, sorry to be a downer." Like, them almost dying was raining on my Skrillex album excitement parade. And then I said, "WTF, dude, are you okay?"
But I really liked it, but I my first listen, I was actually disappointed because
Oh,
I was not, I wanted full length versions of
yeah.
these songs. I essentially wanted these to be full fleshed out ideas and not just, little snippets. And I still, to this day, hope that, I don't think this will ever happen. I think it would be so cool if the album dropped as like a proper, like here's like an unmixed version. Here's each song living by itself. Maybe each song is stretched out a little bit to last like 2 minutes or whatever. I think that would be a really cool listen. But
Yeah.
and I have since gone back and listened to it again, and I can now certainly I appreciate the mix aspect of it. It feels you're just it's hitting you with all these different sounds, all these different drops, one after the other, and some of them are just so good. They're so like the drops themselves are just so good. It's like Skrillex almost just kind of like reminding us who he is and why he essentially changed, or why and how he changed the genre when he first emerged with Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites back in 2010.
Not that I was ever a dubstep producer on the level of Skrillex. I was an amateur,
Oh,
but
you're selling yourself short. You
no,
got some bops.
no, I was definitely an amateur. But I would have some songs I was like, this has so much potential, and then every time I would try and finish it, it was like I don't know where to go with this. So I could see that he has like these like I really like this bass noise, I really like this drop, but I don't know how to put it into a larger idea. But this like basically him releasing a mix with a bunch of unreleased stuff. I don't think it doesn't count. Here's some air quotes. Doesn't count as like a full album release, but overall still really stoked that we got some new Skrillex content.
all the ticket buying all the ticket buying platforms are just so shitty, like
Yeah.
truly shitty. Like Ticketmaster, shit. Live Nation is shit. AXS might be the shittiest though
Are
of
you
them
saying
all.
like user experience or like ethically business practices?
All of
What
it,
what's
all the above, all
the
of it.
whole
It's
thing?
all bad. Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
bad.
In other music news, I know you're going to Coachella this weekend, so I'm excited to hopefully hear about that on next episode.
I am
And then,
Coachella, and then we have our own, and then you will
yes,
be coming up to the Bay. We'll be going to see Kendrick Lamar and SZA when they come to San
yes.
Francisco. That's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick. This is a good segue
Oh,
because the today is the NBA play-in day. We probably don't need to talk too much about the games tonight because by the time this airs, they'll be long over and it'll be decided. But you have the Warriors hosting the Memphis Grizzlies, and then on the East Coast, you have I believe it's the Orlando Magic hosting the Atlanta Hawks. So the
yep.
NBA postseason has officially begun. Very exciting times. Playing aside, any sort of general thoughts or expectations. Obviously, you're a Lakers fan, so I would imagine you're probably feeling pretty good about the playoffs. I mean, your team is facing the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round.
For the Lakers in general, like I think on paper, I'm like we don't really have a chance. But then when I think about like Luca's track record of like basically carrying teams to the Western Conference Finals or to the finals, even, I mean the Mavericks had a good team last year, but like he's kind of single handedly can will a team far in the playoffs, and then you add in one of the best players of all time with LeBron to that. And then, we're really well coached this year by JJ Redick, and we got some good defenders and shooters and supporting cast. We're just kind of missing a, real center, I guess, or or depth at the center position, so we have to play small. So I'm like cautiously optimistic. Then the West in general is kind of like a crapshoot. 2 through 7 is pretty crazy. The Rockets are at 2, and they're a really young team. I don't know if they'll be able to even make it out of the first round. Depending, I mean, they're likely to get the Warriors, I think, because there's such a huge prize to get the 7 seed instead of the 8 seed, because you're either playing a weak, not weak, but inexperienced team in the Rockets, or you're playing a very strong team in the Thunder. So I think the Warriors will go all out, try and win this first playoff game so they can get that matchup. And then I don't know who will get the 8 seed. Doesn't really matter. And then Lakers at 3, Clippers and Nuggets at 4 or 5. I think Nuggets at 4, Clippers at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Clippers have really been coming on strong lately, and Kawhi's looking good, and he's been playing consistently. Harden's had a great season. Ivica Zubac has just been unreal, and is, I think, a lot of
Unreal.
people say, like, the most underrated player in the NBA. I heard on the Bill Simmons podcast he might vote for him for third team and all NBA, which is crazy.
I mean, he's one of the best centers in the league by far. Like it's not a question. And
It
he's
just
like
sounds funny to say that, though. I mean, you're not wrong, depending on what you mean by one of the best.
the West is really fascinating. It seemed like until recently it was just a foregone conclusion that it was going to be OKC making it out of the West because they are so good and they still deserve, they deserve all the flowers. They won 68 games, which very few teams have ever been able to do in NBA history. So they
Like
certainly
5 or something,
deserve respect. That sounds about right. We're counting our chickens before they hatch, but I do think like a Draymond Green versus Dylan Brooks matchup is that's like a match made in heaven for an NBA fan.
The memes.
Like that's going to be a scrappy game. Like there will be fights, there will be ejections, someone might get suspended. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I mean, I'm not worried. I have another Lakers fan in my life who's been saying, "Oh, are you sure Jock could go off? Like the Warriors are never won a play-in game. They're 0-3." And I'm just like, I'm not scared. I'm glad you mentioned the Clippers because they look really good. They looked amazing in that game on Sunday. The Warriors Clippers game. That was honestly one of like the best. Were you able to watch that game at all? I know it was on the same time as the Masters.
Just the end.
That was one of the best games I have ever seen.
It was really
exciting. So freaking good. It had the intensity of like a game 7 in the playoffs, and the stakes you could argue were pretty, not quite that high, but pretty high, especially for a regular season game, because the winner, obviously we know the Clippers winning, they got the 5th seed. Had they lost, they would have had the 7th seed, and the Warriors would have gotten 6. So you're essentially playing to stay out of the play-in, and it was back and forth, nearly 24 lead changes, all the vets, Steph, Jimmy on the Warriors, Kawhi and Harden on the Clippers, all going off, all scoring over 30 points. Zubac got another double-double. It was such a good game. I like how we've been talking about the NBA for like close to 10 minutes now, and we haven't even mentioned the East once.
I was just going to say the same thing. I mean, we're two West Coast boys, but also I think it's kind of telling. Like the East has 2 really strong teams. The Knicks are an interesting story just because of their market and because of their, how they did last year and the team they put together this year with bringing in Bridges and Cat. But, I think we pretty much told the story by how much time we just spent talking about the West. And, the East will be interesting at some point, but early on in the playoffs, it might be a little snooze fest.
Yeah, a lot less intrigue on that side of the bracket, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun to watch. I'm really looking forward to the NBA playoffs because, and this is a perfect time to bring this out. Because we get to watch more of my guys on the NBA on TNT. I don't know. Can you read that?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Yep.
Is it bad? Is it reversed? American Express Roadshow.
This is the bucket hat you referenced last episode that you won.
This is the bucket hat. Is this how do you even, what do you, is that
I'm the wrong person to ask. I would lean towards that.
This, right?
Yeah.
I might have to bring this to Coachella actually because I'm going to need.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to need a bucket hat because I'm getting all my forehead. Although this is too big for my head. Also, I'm sorry if this is really loud. I'm messing with this very close to the microphone.
It's fashionable, but it'll also be practical with the sun and all that.
Is it fashionable? Are you sure?
I think so. I mean, in the way that sometimes wearing things that are unique can be fashionable.
I bought this. All right, you're getting a little impromptu fashion show. I also bought
Oh,
this at H&M yesterday, which is this is way smaller. This is like a little more chic, I think. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't love it actually.
I
This is
vote
like
for the other one. It has
yeah,
sentimental value. It'll give you more
it does.
shade. I think it'll, I guess, reflect heat better as well.
I also have a much bigger version of
Oh
like a
my god.
black bucket hat. This is I've worn this in
Oh,
past years. This is bigger. It's got this like strap too, so I can like put it back and just like have it sit like that. My hair's getting all messed
what
up.
if
It's
you
got
had
the
like a
Adidas logo.
similar look, but with like a cowboy hat or like a brimmed hat, not a bucket hat?
I do have a sombrero. That's not what you're suggesting, but I do have that
Oh,
as well. I also this is my last bucket hat. I like this one too because
you
it's
have a
the
lot of bucket
I
hats.
have too many. This is the A's. Actually, I have so you can't see this. I'm not going to show you, but like I'm sitting at my dining table. Like the other like 3/4 of this table is all just like Coachella stuff, like
Oh,
supplies. Like I have I went on like a massive like shopping run yesterday. Like eye drops, liquid IV, like fans, like coffee for the house, like Kleenex, wipes, speakers. It's like all like 3/4 of this table is all that. That's why all these hats are here. I didn't just pull them out. Well, I did for the podcast, but also because I wanted to decide what I'm bringing. Oh, hi, Boban. This is an A's hat, A's bucket hat. This was a
I think
giveaway at a
next
game.
episode you gotta your full ensemble you wear for the podcast should be your exact Coachella outfit
We'll,
or one of
we'll,
them.
I will. They may not be safe for work. I'll just say that. We'll see. This is
Oh,
also reversible.
oh, that's a
A's.
nice little feature.
Yeah, it is nice. I like the tie dye side better. So that's
Still
an
feel like
option.
my vote is for the TNT one, but I guess I'm biased.
I do think it's you know I think will be a net positive for the NBA because as much as I love the inside the NBA guys, I do feel like their NBA coverage has been lacking, and I feel like NBA coverage as a whole in the media is severely lacking. So I do think that this will be overall good for the sport. I'm hoping that NBC can bring some more seriousness to the coverage, for lack of a better word. And I mean, I don't know if you have any thoughts on just like the whole like LeBron, Stephen A. Smith like drama and just like the way the NBA is covered. Like it's like a soap opera for men. Like they treat it like a drama and they don't talk enough about the actual sport.
We should rename our podcast to two white dudes talking about two black dudes beefing because that's been a theme of ours. But
That'll
in this case, I don't know who's winning the beef. I don't know how to assess that. I don't know if I like. I think overall I like it because it's just another thing to talk about, another thing to listen to podcasts about. But I'm not like stoked on it or anything. You mentioned that you are doing some things with podcasting at work. You want to tell us a
I
little bit about
am.
that?
Yeah. So I had an idea for a podcast that I proposed to one of our anchors who has been there since 2003. And over the years, she has done countless stories, interviewing people like one on one, sitting down with groups all across the Bay Area from the North Bay to San Jose, Oakland, the city. She's talked to all these different groups of people over the years, people who are either doing something cool and exciting like making cardboard robots in their backyard and then taking them to like fairs and like getting a lot of attention for that, or whether it's a girl who fought off a home intruder because she was a black belt in taekwondo and then that
Oh,
sort of raised awareness on why it's important to know how to defend yourself, or like the teacher who needed a lung transplant and it just so happened that his new coworker who they instantly hit it off with and became best friends was the only person in town who was a match for him, so he was able to get this
wow.
organ that he desperately needed. Stories like that.
Sweet.
We play the original piece. So it is a video. There will be an audio version of it available, but to really get the full experience, you need the video. So
Right.
it's that piece which runs about 4 or 5 minutes, and then like a 10-15 minute conversation. So an episode will be about 20 minutes, and it's not, there's not a lot of heavy producing involved. A lot of it is just like, the anchor and the guest talking, and we'll throw some video on top, or we'll maybe throw some video on a monitor that they can look at and reference. More to share on that as it comes, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. We've got 2 episodes in the can, but we don't have we're working on kind of nailing down a consistent schedule. Like, we're going to tape on these days, release on these days, figuring out the editing situation, because that won't require a lot of editing, but some. So just kind of nailing all that down right now.
I'm excited to check it out, man, and I'm excited that you're getting a little bit of it's maybe extra work, or but it's a different kind of work that, like you said, you get to flex a different muscle, and I'm sure whatever lessons you learn from there, you'll be able to carry over to Una Faccia, Una Razza, or now known as 2 white dudes talking about 2 black dudes beefing. So
we're getting canceled. It's over. This is actually our last episode. Sorry, guys.
Oh, I don't know who the next beef is. Maybe it's like Jay-Z, Kanye, or something.
Oh God, if we could never talk about Kanye again, not give him any attention, I'd be okay with that. Which that breaks my heart, actually.
At this event, there was a silent auction with a bunch of really cool things, like a signed Clayton Kershaw jersey, signed Andy Reid Chiefs helmet, and then a bunch of Lakers stuff that I assume Jeannie Buss donated to this event. So there was like a LeBron James signed ball. There was a Anthony Davis signed ball. Rest in peace, Anthony Davis, from the Lakers team, not from the world. And my wife won me an early birthday present, which is the signed Austin Reeves jersey. I might be able to
let's go. Turn around. Do a spin. Yeah, come on, show it off. Let's see.
Is it showing?
Reeves. Oh yeah, in the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sick. So I guess my IRL, I guess, would be that I was also recently in LA. I went down to Santa Monica for a weekend, stayed with a buddy of mine and a couple of other friends from college. It was kind of like a little mini reunion that we had down in Santa Monica. And let me just say, if I die, bury me in the Santa Monica beach so I can just live there forever, because that is such a beautiful city. I love the downtown. I love being so close to the beach, being by the pier, which is fun and cute, but also pretty touristy. It's just a beautiful. It's a cool area. It's a beautiful city. I love it. It's very LA. It very much feels like you're in a bubble. It's like what people think of.
It is. Like LA in a movie. Exactly. People on roller skates going by, biking, running, all that.
The LA stereotype really is Santa Monica. And then honestly, I've been going. I feel like I've been all over the place the past couple weeks, just getting ready for Coachella, which I am very excited for. Yeah, man, add it to the list. Maybe one of these days it'll be us.
Yes,
it'll be us.
An EO reunion when we all turn 69 or something.
That would be sick. Let's do
Skrillex as an 80-year-old or whatever.
He'll still be DJing. He'll still be doing 5-hour sets. Wearing a diaper or whatever he's got to do to get through.
Oh, Skrillex in a diaper! Don't get me too excited.
Pause. All right.
Well, let's end there.
I was like, how do I segue out of that? I couldn't do it.